Hey guys, welcome back. Today we are working on an arithmetic operations on radical expressions problem. So if you are new to this channel, I recommend taking just a second to pause the video and read the description box below and then go ahead and come back and join us. So this is question number 11 and it says, which of the following is the value of the square root of the cube root of 0.000064? So I know when you first look at this, it looks a little bit intimidating, especially with two radical signs, but as long as you have the right strategy, you'll find that this problem isn't too bad at all. So since we do have two radical signs, the easiest thing to do is to focus on just the one in the middle first, and then focus on the bigger one on the outside. So one thing that you should kind of be thinking about already is that since it's a cube root, you really want this number inside to be nice. And if you notice, the 64 here is a nice number because the cube root of 64 is just 4. So going from there, next thing I guess we're going to have to do is get rid of all of these not unnecessary zeros, but we're going to basically rewrite this so that we can take the cube root of the zeros. I know that sounds a little confusing, but bear with me and you'll see what I mean. So let's go ahead and write this inside in scientific notation. We're not going to write it, I guess, in the most proper form because we want this to be a 64 instead of a 6.4, which would be the proper form of scientific notation. So in order to get this to be a 64, we're going to move this decimal 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 places to the right. So we're going to rewrite this as 64 times 10 to the negative 6. Remember, whenever you move a decimal to the right, this exponent is negative. You can also remember that because if it was 10 to the positive 6, that's going to be a huge positive number, and that's going to make this 64 bigger. But we didn't make it bigger. We did, but we started with a smaller number. So we need this to make the 64 smaller. So going from there, now let's go ahead and take the cube, that was a terrible cube root sign, the cube root of this. Okay, so as mentioned, the cube root of 64 is just 4. And now let's go ahead and break this down and take the cube root of 10 to the negative 6. So all I did was took the cube root of 64, which is 4, and then now I'm going to take the cube root of the second half here. So whenever I have a number with an exponent on the inside of a radical, what I like to do is I do 10 to the negative 6, and then instead of writing this as a radical or as a cube root, I write it as an exponent with a fraction because the cube root is the same as to the 1/3 power. So now all we have to do is multiply these exponents as our exponent rules tell us. So we get 10 to the negative 6 over 3, which is just equal to 10 to the negative 2. So, and we can't forget about this 4. I shouldn't have written that equal sign. Okay, so that's 10 to the negative 2. And then we have 4 times, and 4 times. So now let's go ahead and deal with the square root on the outside. So now we have the square root of 4 times 10 to the negative 2. Again, let's go ahead and break this up. So we have the square root of 4 times the square root of 10 to the negative 2. The square root of 4 is just 2. Now here again, I'm going to write this as negative 2 to the 1/2. I'm going to get 2 times 10 to the negative 1. Now all we have to do is convert this into a decimal form because all of our answers are in decimal form. And in order to do that, we have this decimal place here. This negative exponent is making it smaller, so we need to go 1 to the left. And that is going to give us 0.2 or 0.2. So that there is our final answer. And let's go ahead and check out the answer choices. Yep, and it is answer choice E right there. All right, well, I hope this video was helpful. I appreciate you watching. I do have 3 super quick homework assignments before you guys leave. The first one is to download your free GMAT formula sheet if you haven't done so yet. The second one is to like and subscribe, and extra credit goes to anybody that leaves me a comment below. And lastly is to do question number 12 before I see you guys again on Tuesday. And don't forget to check out our Facebook group. It's really starting to grow and I'm really excited about it. So hope to see you guys there.